Good evening and welcome to Images 2021. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the slideshow prior to us starting. That's a little sneak peek. Tonight, Shoreline Arts Alliance celebrates 40 years as your Arts Council. In the past 11 months, unlike many organizations, we've grown exponentially. From re-envisioning and producing important exhibits like Images, to offering scholarships, to sending young artists to college, to building careers in the nonprofit world, and now celebrating a new collaboration with Yale School of Public Health. In fact, tomorrow at 10 a.m., you may wish to join us for a webinar with the Dean of Yale School of Public Health, where we will explore common challenges of reopening the arts industry, offer practical advice, and address a few myths of the COVID-19. You'll be joining over 11,000 arts leaders from 18 states and 3 countries who have joined us in these webinars. You don't want to miss it. Images was created in Shoreline Arts Alliance's founding year to celebrate the gift of the photographer, their keen eye, their innovative approaches, and their ability to capture a moment in time. It has grown over the years thanks to our dedicated volunteers, you, the photographers, and our jurors. I encourage you to explore our online gallery just to click on their photo, and the artist statement is right there for you. Read a bit about what inspires them or why they care so deeply about their art and the world around us. And then choose a few of your favorites and choose which one or many that you'd like to go on and choose the Audience Choice Award. We ask for a $5 donation attached to your opportunity to vote. You may vote as many times as you like. And those funds help support artists who didn't have the funds this year to submit, and we were able to give them free submissions. Again, thank you so much for being here tonight. Over 850 images were submitted by artists from throughout Connecticut, juried by 3 remarkably talented and respected authorities in the world of photography. These amazing judges took care to review each and every piece over a 4-day period. I would like to introduce to you one of our spectacular jurors, J. Sibylla Smith. Sibylla is a curator of over 28 exhibitions featuring over 110 international photographers. Sibylla provides context for an expansive array of image-based work. Her concept-aware curriculum provides a unique concept development framework which strengthens creative practice. She believes visual culture creates social change by amplifying the visual nature, the visual narrative, and the fostering the collaborations across disciplines. I've asked Sibylla to share a little more about herself and her journey. Sibylla? I think you need to unmute and then we're good to go. The challenges of Zoom.
There we go.
Hi, Sibylla.
Forgot about that. So thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me be a part of the amazing work that you've done over the past year. As an arts institution, any year, it's an uphill battle, and especially over the last year. It's opened up many different for work, and I actually think I'm going to be seeing in art-related projects a lot of the processing of our collective to this experience of the past year. You asked me to speak about myself and my journey. That's a long one and circuitous. However, where I've landed or where I work from is as an independent curator and an educator and a consultant. So curating is really a passion of mine, and I feel is educational. It's when you are able to make a narrative with other people's art, and that's one of my favorite things to do. And secondly, then what I love is to contextualize work and see work not only within the individual artist's world and potentially worldview or imagination, but also in the larger context of visual culture, which we're all a part of. And we've become so sophisticated visually, especially in the last 20 years. And that's a good thing. But we need to increase our visual vocabulary to keep up with that and to interpret. So I have a studio in Somerville, Massachusetts. I ran a gallery for 3 years here in Boston, and then basically took what I do on the road. And I've taught all over the country. I've done a lot of work internationally, and prior to this past year, brought groups to Paris Photo. I called it my insider's guide because I was able to bring work to Tokyo Photo a number of years ago, and then that introduced me into Paris Photo. And the international conversation on photography is fascinating. And we in the United States are a very small part of a very, very big conversation. So I love having my ear to that ground. And I work with people on their concept development. I work with artists individually on concept development. I teach my curriculum, which is pending publication, a book about this framework that my circuitous route kind of gave me a view into many aspects of the photographic field and really all arts. My framework is not specific to framework. However, that's my expertise. And I use my framework, I use photography to illustrate my framework, both when I teach concept aware as well as how I'm structuring my book. So I work with arts and educational institutions. I'm all about amplifying the power of photography. It is such an impactful medium, and I've seen it. It changes individuals, both the artist who's making it, and it changes literally our culture and has since its inception. So it's a really vital medium, and it's changing dynamically in the last 20 years. And I'm in discussions where do we really need another word for photograph, since what we had once did in this field was create objects, and now so much of our field is on screens, and the difference between that. So I could go on. I'll try not to. What else do I need to tell you about myself? I started something that would have been in person in my studio, and because of the lockdown and pandemic, I put it online. It's a photo book group. It's open to anyone. It's free, and I do it almost 3 times a month, and that has been so expansive. I thought I would be running it out of Somerville and having people come into my art library. I'm not in my studio right now, or you'd see it behind me. And when I put it online, because of a lot of galleries that I work with internationally, we've had gallerists from other countries, publishers, photographers, and it was amazing to me. But within a year, we reached 4 continents. Over 100 countries have people tapped in. It's been spectacular. So you're welcome. That whole schedule is up on my website. And the other thing I do is a concept aware beginner's guide once a month, just to give people a flavor, because what I do is not easily spoken of in a soundbite. It's really a practice. It's looking at creative practice and it's pulling it apart. So I try to walk people through that. And if I haven't said it, my medium is the artist's creative practice. That's where I love to play. So the last thing I'll say is a gallerist at Paris Photo once said I was a glutton for image consumption. The Paris Photo, there's about 175 galleries inside one space in 4 days, and I can go all day and into the evening. And it's true, I love looking at images. So it was a real treat to be able to look at these and consider them. So thank you for having me be a part of it.
Oh, thank you so much, Sevilla. We just absolutely are so honored to have you with us, and we're so glad you're a glutton for punishment. For a glutton to enjoy all these photographs. Yeah, what a great entry into your life. I really encourage you all to go check out her website. Amazing, interesting career, and And really, there's something there for all of us. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring Sevilla back because what we'd like to do is actually share a little bit about all three of our jurors as we go through the evening. But Sevilla's agreed to share what the team of jurors thought as a whole and give basically the juror statement for tonight. So if you don't mind just coming right back onto the floor here and take over with that, that would be super.
Sure. I'm actually going to read it on my screen, so I might turn away a bit. But
That's fine.
this is what we thought of after we spent time together, and want you to know about the jurying process and the experience. Photography has wrestled since its invention almost 200 years ago with originality, artistry, science, authorship, time, realism, reproduction, and proliferation. It is often seen as equal parts mirror and metaphor. This medium we love is a dynamic field which continues to evolve. Rules are broken and boundaries bent. Words cannot define nor contain a photograph. Encountering an image is a singular sensation. They can fascinate, amuse, reveal, obscure, mystify, confound, and delight. There are no right or wrong ways to interpret a photo. Once created, it begins a life of its own. As jurors, we appreciate the courage and vulnerability being a creator entails. What a wonderfully eclectic and expansive array of images you presented. Critique and selection are an imperfect science. Our goal is to lend our eyes to strengthen your vision. We are all illuminated in the process. We thank each and every one of you who submitted and allowed us a glance into your creative pursuits. Regardless of the status of your participation, we hope that each of you will take great delight in this exercise and that you will continue to expand, to investigate, and to pursue your practice.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sevilla. It's really remarkable what they've done. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I think what I think I need to do is move right into the awards portion of this event. Tonight we're going to get to take a sneak peek at the honorable mentions, the Ann Christensen Award, as well as our 4 first honors winners. So without any further ado, I'm going to start by sharing with you the Ann Christensen Prize for 2021. Christy Odom will be sharing a little bit about this winner. So just to give you a little bit more suspense, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Christy. Christy is all the way out in Colorado, and that's the beauty of Zoom. We were able to share her, bring her along. When she was 16 years old, Christy picked up her grandfather's camera and fell in love with the beauty of the natural world. Ever since, she's been driven to capture what's real, raw, and compelling about the world. Christy Odom is an internationally acclaimed photographer, a filmmaker, and sought-after motivational speaker. Christy's work focuses on connecting people emotionally to animals and celebrating those who have the connection to the natural world. Her accolades include over 60 international photography awards, including 2 Nature's Best Photography Awards, which exhibited her images at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History. Her work has appeared either online or in print for National Geographic, Forbes, Rolling Stone, Microsoft, and Outside Magazine. So I'm actually going to bring it here. This is Christy, and she is not able to join us tonight, but she sent us a few videos, and she'll be in person with us next next week for the juror discussion. So here's a few words from Christy about her work.
Hi, I'm Christy Odom. I'm a wildlife photographer and filmmaker based in Longmont, Colorado. My mission has always been to connect people emotionally to wildlife and to celebrate those that have a connection with the natural world. My last project has followed a group of citizen scientists that meet every Fridays to count bugs. That project was published online for National Geographic last year, and it led to opening up this world of the beauty of our own local parks and the beauty of our own backyards. I'm really excited to be here. I was so blown away by all the amazing work that was submitted to this competition. It takes a lot to put yourself out there to be judged and to put yourself out there for competition. So big round of applause to all you guys. I was so blown away with how much beauty you guys see, all your individual voices, and it was a big honor to be a part of this competition. So congratulations to everybody that entered, and congratulations to the winners. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you, Christy. So, our Ann Christensen Award is given to the person who leaves a lasting impression on us all. And the judges chose Water Table by Susan Capizzone. So congratulations, Susan. And the pleasure that we get to now enjoy is, I'm sure we're hearing clapping out in the community. Congratulations and all that good stuff. But now what we're going to do is Christy's going to talk a little bit about your work and what she saw. So this is Christy.
One of the first and foremost things I look for when I'm a judge is impact. And I remember when this image came past, just stopping. I was so taken by the stillness, but yet the movement and all the chaos, and also the geometric patterns that help move my eye throughout the frame in such a way that I was seeing shapes, I was seeing movement, I was even seeing that with the way my eye was being led throughout. It's done beautifully. I love the hints of blue and the hints of yellow, the color in this, the tone, the feel, and altogether the abstraction that actually gave me an amazing feeling, and it made me really connect with the rain and connect with the photographer. I could see a little bit about the photographer and see a little bit about, the chaos and the movement and the geometry. So beautiful, beautiful image.
Well, congratulations again, Susan. That's fantastic. Our next, let's see if I can push this here. Our next prize is the First Honors Award, awarded for the most highly distinguished photographs in this year's show, and there are 4 of those. And our first tonight is Elephant with Twisted Trunk by Penrod Cook. This is a duo, a team. Congratulations. What a great piece. And I think you all probably heard me say a little bit ago, Christy's work is often with animals, and you really need to take a look at her website as well. Unbelievably in tune, and clearly the judges all saw something very special in this piece. So once again, we're going to get to hear Christy talk about the elephant with a twisted trunk. Whoops. There's the right button.
This image of the elephant, it definitely had so many different feelings to me. And I love that it showed a bit of character, a bit of personality. There's a bit of whimsy in the way the trunk is folded over. It's even got such a beautiful sense of balance. That little tree to the left that balances with the elephant on the right, and it keeps your eye engaged and it keeps your eye inside that frame, which is sometimes hard to do when you have a big animal like an elephant and a lot of open space. This image, the tonality, the personality, the character, the whimsy, the lines, it all came together for me, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And congratulations on producing such an amazing image that's quite unique of an animal that's photographed quite a bit. So this will be an image I'll definitely remember.
Those are high accolades, I believe. Wonderful. Well, thank you again. So now I'd like to introduce you to Johnny Chapman. Johnny is a Californian lens-based artist, currently residing in New York. He holds an MFA in photography, video, and related media from the School of Visual Arts in New York. Johnny's work has been featured in exhibitions across the United States, including the Frankel Gallery, Here Arts, and SF Camera Work. His work can be found in many private and public collections, including at the Fig Art Museum and San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. He's also founder and curator of Terms and Conditions, an avant-garde film screening series. Johnny, we're so honored to have you here tonight, and I just scratched the surface on all the great things you're doing, but we'd love you to fill in the blanks on that. Could you share a little bit more about your life? That would be great.
Hi, everyone, and thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Eric, for that introduction and for including me in this year's Images competition. It was really great to be a part of the process and to see the explorations of such a wide body of artists. So as mentioned, my name is Johnny Chapman, and I'm a lens-based artist who work often examines the history of photography and its relation to the American landscape and Black history. Recent investigations of my work have led to exploring the notion of an image as an object, where data from a digital image is used to create new work. As it so happens, next month I will be having a solo exhibition of images from my series I Forgot Where We Were at Blue Sky Gallery in Portland, Oregon. And as mentioned, I am the founder of an experimental film screening series called Terms and Conditions. The film screening series started back in 2017, is co-curated by a wide variety of guest artists, and has shared the work of video artists like Nuatomo Budomo, Penny Lane, Tiffany Smith, Erica Beckman, and Martin Weber, just to name a few.
Fantastic. Thank you, Johnny, so much. So are you ready to introduce a few awards here?
Sure.
All right. So first honors, there you are.
Cool. So we'd like to congratulate and recognize tonight this work by Susan Brandt. We all found this image to be quite striking. This year, there were many variations of long exposures and alternative processes submitted. But what struck me about this image in particular was the tension between the sharpness of the hand-drawn lines, meeting the abstract and blurry background image. There's a surreal nature to the work, which I thought was handled really well. In a similar notion to the work of artists like Anthony Gormley, in this image, human bodies were transformed into vessels or shells, which become ghosts on the landscape. Even though there's no real clarity in the background, each of the figures still has its own personality and whimsicalness, which I really liked. So thank you, Susan, for sharing your work with us. Shall we have the next one?
Absolutely. Congratulations. That's great. All right, should we go on to our next one, Johnny?
Sure.
Let's see if I can do that. There we go.
So next, we'd like to congratulate Marcy Giron in her image titled 1910 Census. This was an image that really stood out for me and asked for my attention in deciphering and understanding its meaning. I really enjoy the image and how the work brings up questions around the archive, the census of migration, and in essence, human as data, as the lives of those pictures reference in the information input on the document that we see. There's also a haunting stillness and quietness to the work. The figures look out at us from behind the bars of the census document, which recognizes them as citizens and figures on the landscape, while the image of the sea alludes to their journey to get here. As we look at the image, the figures look back on us, and in effect, the past becomes a living entity. So I just want to say thank you to Marcy for sharing your work with us. It was really great. Eric, I think you're muted.
Oops, the mute. There we go. Johnny, thank you again so much for that. The mute button's getting us tonight. I just want to say thank you again so much, Johnny, for everything that you've done along this path for our journey in the last month or so. Thank you so much for that. And I can't wait to hear all your fine comments as we get into our juror discussion week from tonight. So thank you again for being here tonight. And we have one more first honors winner, and then we'll announce all the honorable mentions. So Sibylla, if you don't mind coming back and helping me with the announcement of the next award. Here we are.
So congratulations to Maureen Goss on Bejeweled. It's really interesting that I watch trends, and portraiture never gets old. It just is such an amazing collaboration. And this particular, there was a series, and all of us were drawn particularly to this image, which completely fills the frame. It is geometric, it is colorful, it is bold, and just draws us in playfully, but there is an intensity that doesn't let go. I love there's a depth of quality to the frame of the face, and just how you filled up from the gesture, an ability to move someone's eye through the photograph. I think that we're referring at different times to the impact of the photograph. And I go back to a word that Roland Barthes spoke about called punctum. And it's really the ability of what comes out of a photograph and pierces you. And I just think the quality of are being able to look at this person who is looking not at us, but giving us so much to imagine. So it's a very provocative, evocative piece. So congratulations. And I love the word bejeweled, and I love titles that are tantalizing too. So thank you for this, and congrats.
Yes, congratulations. So just a little sneak peek of our juror discussion coming up. Sibylla would love to share a little more about this, right?
Yes, the nature of how you sequence and how a jury entry impacts those that are looking at it. One of the things that happens here is that these are so unique. Each of them has their own unique quality, yet there is a symmetry or a level of intensity that they share. So that is a skill. And it's, as a juror, it is wonderful to be given a sequence that allows us to really play within your framework, that the sequencing is so solidly balanced. And I think that it was hard to choose one because these are equally strong images. Bejeweled really did hit us all, but we were really pleased that this sequence had such power and such a command. And I love that there's variety in the use of the space, but you are using all of the space in each of the images, and there's such a distinct personality that there's a quality or an intensity of color that they share, and that they are all seemingly female identified persons, but there isn't a lot else to keep them the same. There's this thread that is similar, and then they go off in their own. So that's a beautiful sequence.
That's great. Well, I don't really mean to put you on the spot, Johnny, but I see I get to see Johnny's face during this, and he was nodding along and seemed. Would you like to comment on these three?
Sure. We all really enjoyed them. And one of the things that I really liked about it was There was a discerning nature to the work that was submitted. So she chose to submit 3 really strong pieces. So we then, as jurors, had to then try to narrow down which one we really enjoyed because we really liked all 3 pieces. Um, as well as with the sequence, we got to see your range and your vision as an artist. That was consistent. It was aesthetically even across the board. And there were no weak images, which is something that we're going to go into more conversation about next week.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for jumping in there. So I have one more person to introduce to you, and then we're going to go into our the honorable mentions. Whitney Lorenz is with the Shoreline Arts Alliance, and we're so fortunate that she's stepped up to the role of taking care of these programs with all of her care and might. She worked tirelessly behind the scenes with many of you photographers to make sure that your submissions were in the right spot and ready for the judges, to keep it a blind situation for us. So in other words, all of the work had no relation to anyone's name or the title. The judges saw the work as it was by themselves, and Whitney carried the process all the way through for that. I want to introduce Whitney by giving her the task of when she's ready to share the names of the pieces in the honorable mention. So Whitney, we're thrilled that you're in the family even more. Whitney's actually been with us, I don't know, I'm going to say 5-6 years. She started as an intern, and then through her time at Lime Academy College of Fine Arts became an intern through them, and then we've worked up to where now she's full-fledged with us as much as I can get her. So Whitney.
Thank you, Eric. It's so wonderful to have you all here. So I'll just get right into it. The first honorable mention is, drumroll, Yogoku Kogunika by Avery Bart. Next we have Receiving Line by Paul Berger. Cyano Ice by Suzanne Brandt. Blue Canyon Wall by Jim Elting. Isolation by Crystal Gillette. Anne by Julia Arstorp. Shame by Lily Kaufman. And Deconstruction by Fred Verlo.
So congratulations to you all. What a great night for us. I'm just again thrilled we have these wonderful judges. Thank you again, Whitney, for all the hard work you've put in to make this such a lovely evening. Remember, photographers, every one of you who submitted, we know how much you poured your heart into your work. We can see it right here on the screen. We're so honored that you chose this exhibition to be a part of. Images is a fabric of the arts in Connecticut, and it's because of you. So we just want to thank you all so very much. Of course, we couldn't do this without all the wonderful folks who sponsor us throughout the season. We're missing several sponsors this year, unfortunately, because of this darn thing called COVID that has taken a lot of them away. But these are the folks who sustain the organization, and we hope that in coming years are those folks who've been the rock and solid sponsors of Images can come back to us. And I want to thank our board of directors who we have 4 new board of directors that just came in a couple of months ago. They're already taken it by storm. So thank you, new and returning board members, so much. Diana and Whitney on our staff. And of course, our fantastic Images committee, chaired by Lynn Fisher. Lynn has just made this so smooth. They're about to hear something that they have not heard yet. so I decided to save this for tonight, a little surprise. We are actually going to do a in-person exhibit from some of this work. We thought we would not be able to, but in the coming weeks, I think we might be having a little meeting to discuss how that might happen. So we will be reaching out to the artists. If you haven't printed it, framed it, don't worry. We'll connect with you to see if that's a possibility. It's going to be a much more condensed show than what we have here, but it's something that I think will be really important. It's for the Connecticut Hospice, for their families and staff there and patients. So, and then this whole show will be projected in all of the hospice rooms. So what a great service we're going to be providing thanks to all of your work. So once again, I want to invite you to our gallery talk with Jessica Rocio. You may remember her. She was one of our judges last year, and that's March 14th. That's Sunday, March 14th at 3 o'clock. Again, via Zoom, so go to our website and take a look there. And then our jury discussion. And Johnny, I hope it's okay. We used your one of your pieces right here as a piece to celebrate that we're going to get to see you here in a few days. So that's a week from tonight, March 16th, 7 to 8 via Zoom. So once again, don't forget, go to our website, check out the all the work a little more in depth, and consider your Audience Choice Award. We'll be announcing that the evening of the juror discussion, so a week from tonight. So you have all the way into that that evening for about 15 minutes. You'll be able to still vote. And then, of course, we want you to consider purchasing this work to support all these fantastic artists. So again, just last but not least, I don't want you to forget that tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we're doing our reopening Connecticut arts venues, science-based safety. Again, that registration link is on our website. So tell all your friends to take a look at Facebook and YouTube channels. Tonight we were live on Facebook, and so that means it'll continue to be on Facebook, but we'll also have it on YouTube in a few days. So I again, of course, encourage you to chat about it on Instagram and through all the wonderful social media outlets. I want to just congratulate everybody once again. Thank you so much for all that you have. Congratulations to the winners. I hope you understand, if you're in the show, this is a huge honor as well. You know, from over 150 pieces, 850, I keep saying that, over 850 pieces, and you were selected to be in the show by these fine judges. That's a real tribute to your work. I think they're going to all tell you there's a lot of really great work that came in, and it was a tough decision for many of these. So if you didn't get in the show, keep going. There's always another one. As you know, we have 3 different judges every year, so you can never guess. Again, have a great night. Sibylla, Johnny, thank you. If you have anything you got to say, go for it. But we are definitely in it to see you a week from tonight. All right. So thank you all. Have a great evening. We'll see you hopefully Sunday at 3 o'clock. Take care. Bye-bye.